Long way, get this shit a long way, shit a long way, 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 shit, long way, long shit, long way, long way, long way, long way, long way, long way, shit a long way. Gotta get the shit a long way. Gotta get the shit a long way. Gotta get the shit a long way. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta get a meal, but she don't understand. She be tripping every day, she be tripping every way. But I gotta get the shit a long way. Tryna get money every single way. Tryna get money every single day. Get money every single way, every day. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. I'm feeling like we be the new slaves. No, we gotta finish rich. No, we gotta finish rich. Got a new bitch, she don't understand. She don't understand. Niggas gotta get rich. She don't understand. Sometimes we gotta hit lit. No, we ain't hit lit. Tryna get the long way, yeah. Tryna get the shit the long way, yeah. Coach is tryna wrap up a entree, yeah. Told you the other day that did my phone strong. We gon' shoot the long way, we gon' get the long way, yeah. Yeah, get the shit the long way. My bitch be trippin' back and forth like a phone way. When I ain't Atari, I ain't playing games, just another Atari. Yesterday she told me that she about to leave, man. Said fuck it, bitch, we gonna get some money. Said fuck it, bitch, I'm about to get some money. So what I do today, I went and got some money, yeah. Cause we gon' get the shit the long way, we gon' get the shit the long way, yeah. Back and forth like the pong way, yeah. Man, I'ma get the shit the long way, get the shit the long way. Just the only way today, because they go with shit's crazy. We gotta wear masks, we the new slaves, and we be wearing this shit like every day. We be okay, we gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, for me, yeah. So we gon' get this shit the long way, we gon' get this shit the long way. We gon' get this shit the long way, yeah, we get this shit the long way, yeah. Cause we gon' be okay, we gon' be okay, yeah. We gon' get the long way, yeah.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome. Let me remove this. Testing. What's going on? Welcome to another edition of Savings Minus Debt. I'm LJ Young, the founder of SMD. And what's up, QJC? What's going on, sir? Yeah, you guys can usually tell when I got some stuff coming by my when I start posting certain things in the community tab. Yeah, and this is definitely one because I realized something big. But anyway, welcome. And what I do here is I'm just here to share my gift, and my gift is that I know capitalism is psychological, positive and negative, and this is a mathematical fact. Okay, this is not a theory, this is not a guess, it's a fact. Because if math says it's true, because the statement I'm making is 100% mathematically true. Okay, and if it's true, that means it is true, because the only person that could have created mathematics is God. Okay, because nobody can have an opinion on mathematics at all. It is or it is not, period. So with understanding this, on the negative side of the economy, there are people that are called debt slaves. Okay, and debt slaves are people that believe they can own with no money of their own, people that believe they can buy houses with mortgages, cars with car loans, save for retirement, save on a retirement plan while having student loan debt older than the retirement plan itself. Those are called debt slaves, and that was me. I was there for the better part of my younger adult years, believing everybody what everybody says in the debt matrix. Didn't know that I was listening to debt slaves, can't buy nothing without credit and all this other stuff. Until I found Dave Ramsey, and Dave Ramsey basically said, take the calculator and his baby steps and free yourself. That was easy enough. That's what I did. I didn't need to buy any of his programs. It was really simple enough. Just follow what he says and get out. But I realized once I got to the part of Mr. Ramsey's plan where he says, pay off all your debt except your mortgage. And then while you have a mortgage, start putting away 15% into retirement. But as I was following Mr. Ramsey's plan, AKA using the calculator, when you put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance and hit equal, the calculator says that's a large negative number. You cannot pull positive from a negative. You can't. When the negative number is greater than the positive number, you can't pull positive from a negative. You can't. So I didn't have 15% of anything to put anywhere. Nobody does in the world. So I knew I was onto something, because after that point, he says, hey, I'm going to point you to some of my Vesta pros, and they're somehow going to break the laws of mathematics and teach you how to save positive money from a negative number. I don't know how they're going to do that, but you're going to pay them to do it, which they're not going to do it. I'm just, spoiler alert, they're not. Okay. But you're going to pay them not to do it. But anyway, I understood that was business. Okay. That's business. Okay. This is where I leave Mr. Ramsey's plan, where he's making money. And that's why he's been around for 25 years. Nothing wrong with it. But I knew I was on to something bigger. And then I realized, my credit report, once I got to zero, I realized my credit report was nothing more than my owner's ledger. It just kept track of all the businesses that owned me. And my credit score was nothing more than reward points for staying in debt with the owners listed on my credit report. Now, since I had no debt, that means I had no owners listed. I knew I was on to something bigger. And then I tried to turn around and tell my friends, hey, look what I discovered. I can prove everything I'm saying with math, and they didn't want to hear it. They stopped being my friends. Then I knew I was on to something bigger. I'm like, these people know I love them, and trying to share them with them, and trying to share this new knowledge with them, and they don't believe me. No, they don't believe you. And then I realized it's psychological. This is by design. Okay. And it was all a choice. Nobody kept me on the negative side. I stayed on the negative side of the economy because I didn't trust a calculator. They taught me that in elementary school. They taught us all in elementary school. Zero in the middle, right numbers in green mean positive, left numbers in red mean negative. They taught us all this in elementary school. But once I became an adult, that got thrown out the window. I stopped using math with my finances. Why? Because I was convinced by debt slaves about credit. Credit takes you into the deep negative. I didn't know that till I freed myself. So now that I understand that, once I'm on zero, that means I was listen, I could have $100 in the bank and zero debt. That places me financially ahead of millions of people. Do you understand me? With $100 in the bank with no debt places me financially ahead of millions of people according to the laws of mathematics. Then I realized slavery went from physical to psychological, where it's more profitable. Economies only run because of people. Doesn't matter how many robots they build. Do robots consume? Robots will never consume like humans. Humans, we consume unnecessarily. That's what we do. But economies don't work without people. There must be people on the positive side, and there must be people on the negative side. That's a choice. Once you come to the positive side, you will clearly see that slavery is still alive and well. It's just psychological. It's no longer physical. That means it doesn't matter what color you are, where you live, tall, woman, man, it doesn't matter. If you're making payments, I'm talking to you. You're part of it. That's you, because you guys make payments on depreciating objects. That means you don't own yourself, but you don't know that. And that's your fault. Now, with knowing this, I now understand that money is nothing more than an illusion for you, debt slaves. It doesn't even, it's an illusion. Now, I always like to give this examples before I continue on with my story so you can understand what I mean. Hold $20 in your hand and open up the calculator app with the other. Put in $20 minus your car payment and hit enter. According to the calculator, do you have $20 in your hand? The answer is no. But you're asking, you're like, but I'm physically holding it, Linnell. I know what you're physically holding, but does the calculator say you're holding anything? No, that's why I just said money's an illusion for you. But that's a choice. You're choosing for money to be an illusion for you. But since you don't know that, therefore you are used because you don't know that. PPP fraud. Only debt slaves commit PPP fraud. I want to make sure you guys understand this, okay? Only a debt slave would ever risk pieces of paper for their freedom. Do you understand? You can just go to the government website and see how much they print those pieces of paper for. Pennies. Pennies. And they tell you when, and you're a person right now, especially the younger you are, the ones that stole 1,000. I really feel sorry for you guys. If you're 18, brand new to the world, and you had some debt slave convince you to get a PPP loan, knowing that you didn't have no business or nothing or anything, and lying about employees, you are now owned starting at 18 for the rest of your life. You are purchased. Do you understand what that means? That means you're owned forever until you're dead. Because the only people that can get that off of your record now is the president or the governor. They must pardon you. Outside of that, you're owned. You're stamped forever. Now, when I first saw, now I realized this is how they purchase debt slaves. You guys are purchased like this. They bring out easy access, free money in one of the worst times in history, 2020. One of the worst times in history. None of us here right now listening that've seen this, we'll never see this again. We'll be all dead before that happens. Before you see the world stop again, we'll be long gone. This is how they purchase. So what they do is put out free money, more money than you could ever have that you have ever seen in your life. But what you don't understand is physical money doesn't exist for you, debt slave. So everything you're stealing is all digital. You guys never actually you guys actually never see the money. You don't physically see it because it doesn't exist for you. But what you don't understand is that you sold yourself for that money. As soon as you press enter, that's it. And you're in your teens and your 20s and you get convicted for federal theft. It's federal. Now think about what you purchased with that stolen money that you sold yourself for some Nikes. Something you bought online, a TV? And I realized the bigger picture. This is how generations of debt slaves are purchased in one big swoop. Do you understand? They're coming to collect what they own you now. Do you guys understand that? They own you, and they're coming to collect their property. You will listen, you will be working for the rest of your life, and guess what? You will never see an income tax return check for the rest of your life. Because when you have to, not only do you have to pay back the money, restitution, fees, legal fees, you're buried for, listen, for money that never even existed. You never even saw the money. And imagine now that you're going to get a job. First of all, you'll be oh my goodness. You are now purchased. Do you understand? Bought and paid for by yourself because of yourself. If you had a so-called friend that came up to you and offered, "Hey, you should get a PPP loan, get this and that," knowing that everything they were saying, it's not all their fault. You could have just said, "None of that is true, what you're saying to me." What do you mean? You could just make up employees. That would be lying. I'm not that means no. But if you have a so-called friend that convinced you of putting, that's a debt slave talking to you. Now you guys are both felons or going to be. Do you know they have 10 years to look for you? Most of you guys, about 5, 6, 7 years, you guys going will have moved on with your life. You thinking in your mind that you got away with it and probably start a new life and a family. Of course, you're not going to bring it up to into your new person that you're with. You might end up marrying that. Just think, I feel sorry for the people that don't know. Marrying the person, having listen, having a child with the person. Because that's not going to come up in conversation. Hey, yeah, about 3, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I did some PPP fraud and I got the money and spent it on dumb shit and whatever, right? You're not, that doesn't come up in conversation because you don't, in your mind, you didn't get caught. So you're not going to tell the person you fall in love that that new person falls in love with you and not, they don't know anything. They don't, and what if this person don't even live their life of stealing from the government? What if they don't, they just know better to do that, and then they marry and have a child with you, and then next thing you know, they come knocking on the door, knock 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 knock. Hey, John Smith, yeah. Hey, you remember that PPP loan? Yeah. You got to prove it. You got to prove that you didn't lie on the and if they're already there, they already know because they're slaves. You guys have a pattern. And you guys need to understand this. You have a pattern, okay? And I'm here to tell you that only, listen, only debt slaves commit PPP fraud. That wasn't even a thought in my brain to look for a PPP, to file a fraudulent PPP loan thing. Why would I do? That's dumb. It's public. Everybody can see who did it. Everybody can just go to the list in their town and look up a certain person's name. You'll know right away who did fraud because if you know the person and you see what they asked for and see what they got, and you know they're about to be convicted. They're about to be a convicted felon. But those of you guys that did it, I want you guys to understand what you did. You sold yourself. You're done now. Free labor. You guys about some of you guys going to prison. You guys are about to be free labor. That's slavery. You guys are now physical slaves. First, you were psychological slaves all your life because only debt slaves commit PPP fraud purposely sell themselves for money. Only a debt slave would do that. They're they're about to fill the private prisons up now because of yourself. They make sure that money's nice and gone too. By the time they catch up with you, all that money's gone. You will have lied on your tax returns. You guys have no idea how deep you are. Imagine you're 18 and you got about $2,000 in PPP money. $2,000. In order to receive fraud, listen, in order to receive fraudulent PPP money, you have to lie on the application. You have to lie. Do you understand what that means? You have to lie because it's not true. Nobody can break the laws of mathematic debt slaves. Nobody. When I take a when I look at the bigger picture now, I have absolutely nothing but respect for this system because you guys got to understand. Capitalism works the best here in the United States of America. We have the best stock of debt slaves here. 99% of the people that live here believe they own something and they don't even own themselves. Now, this plan to me, and this is my opinion, it looks pretty damn obvious to me, but this is how they buy a generation's worth of debt slaves. Put a large amount of money that you've never a debt slave has ever seen in their life. Make it the easiest access to check a box and say, yep, that's me. This is my business. I had 200 employees and blah, blah, blah. And then they just hand over $400,000 in cash. Just say, here you go. There you go. Now, all debt slave, all you got to do, and it's too late now because you guys already sold yourself, but all you had to do is this: walk into a bank and say, can I get $300,000 and see how easy that would be to convince them of yes. But all you had to do on this application was check a box, make up a fake company and get $300,000. Why do you think that is? Because you sold yourself for the money. Money that you would never even see. You probably didn't even see 90% of it. You probably got some money out. What's up, Andre? Got some money out in cash because you've never seen that much at one time, not even realizing that that's the money you sold yourself for. You are a forever owned now. It won't matter how old you are. Like you in your early 20s, you got convicted for PPP fraud. By the time you're 60 and 70, you will still be stamped as owned. You know how much money they're going to be making off of you for the rest of your life till you're dead. What kind of job are you going to be able to get as a convicted felon? First of all, that's number one. And you have to work. You're a convicted felon. You have to work. You have to. So whatever job you do get that does accept you, you already know what kind of job that's going to be. Because guess what? We got some dirty ass, dirty business, dirty debt slave business owners out here that will take they will take full exploitation of you, because that's just how they are. But you put yourself there to have to deal with the type of owners like that. They're everywhere. And then once they convince you, that once they accept you, and then all of a sudden they're gonna, when you get your check, you know how much money is gonna be coming out of that check forever? I don't know how you're gonna survive. Oh yeah, it gets deep. Real deep. Free labor. There's talks of UBI. Yep, UBI. Look at that. You can't discharge that type of debt in bank. No, no, that's not really debt anymore. And I want you guys to understand, everybody listening, they didn't even have to buy these debt slaves with actual money either. It's all digital because money doesn't exist for debt slaves. I want you guys to understand that. They were purchased with nothing. Debt slaves, you guys don't know to stop and say, how come this money is so easy to get? Because they're purchasing you with it. That's why. People on the positive side would never do that. All you guys that listen, debt slaves, all you guys that prepared these things for the people uh, uh, to submit, you're coming along too. You're not getting away just because you think you're getting away with it because your name's not on the paperwork. That's not. Don't believe that. Everybody involved in the PPP fraud scamming, you guys are all dead slaves. You guys are all in it. Now you add that on top of your debt, collections, and credit card payments and student loan payments, you're pretty much going to die a debt slave for sure. Your only way out, and I'm gonna give you your only way out of maybe possibility, maybe, is create your own business. That's gonna be your only way out of it. That's gonna be your only way. A regular listen, after you get convicted of PPP fraud, you getting out using a job, you might as well forget about that idea. You'll never get out. You're not getting it. Listen, let's just say it was say like you stole $200,000, okay? And say like this debt was your only debt, the $200,000. You're not getting out of that debt making $20 an hour at a job minus taxes and other stuff. You're not. That's bananas, man. I thought so. This is how generations of debt slaves are purchased. Free labor. All these private prisons coming up. What do you listen, man? That's you know how much money that is? There's no company that can fuck with a private prison free labor making shit. Actual business out here is to make out in the real world, you have to pay people to work for your company. Imagine a private prison doing the same business as you, but they don't have to pay the people working, or they pay them pennies. We pay our employees a dime an hour. Some of you listen. Some of you guys that committed PPP fraud, you're now free labor. You're gonna be making stuff for free. You you're gonna be making. Hey, listen, you're gonna be working 8 hours for a sandwich, 8 hours for a phone call, for a 30. And listen, for a 30-minute phone call once a month. You know how the next 10 years of your life is gonna be? Worried about a knock at the door, a letter. Is this the week my check is going to be garnished? Imagine again, you move on with your life. You met somebody, woman or man, it don't matter, because women and men committed PPP fraud. Ain't got nothing to do with woman or man. But and then all of a sudden you guys are just living your life. Next thing you know, you get your check and half of it's gone. Or you filing taxes one year like you've always done with the new person you're married to, and then one year you get a letter that says it's all gone. We're taking it. How you gonna how you gonna explain that to the person you're married to that you never told them about, that you committed PPP fraud 8 years ago? And now you're going to prison. The woman was a stay-at-home mom and you guys got 2 kids. Now what? I respect this system. That's amazing, man. I'm like, how do they? Oh, now you guys will never. Convicted felon, you have to work. You'll never see a tax return check again, ever. Every little bit of money that you will be able to make, half of that will be taken. Uh, then the people you're left to work for, they're probably going to be taking a piece of your money just because they're giving you the privilege of even having a job because you're a convicted felon. Do you understand? That's respect, man. I'm like, that's how they purchase people. Listen, here's another one. So you guys don't think it's just locked to people stealing, convicted felons. You guys with mortgages. Okay, I want you to listen close. Okay, listen close. You ever know sometimes one day you get a letter in the mail and your mortgage has been sold? You ever notice that? You can't say anything about it. They just tell you, "Hey, hello, we're so and so LLC. We are your new owners. You will be making your payments to us now because we bought you." No choice. They don't got to tell you nothing. They just do it. You know why? Because they're your owners. Like when you get ready to leave your house, do you ask your dog first? This is crazy, man. It is much bigger than I ever thought it could be. I was like, wait a minute, this picture's growing. Yes, it's getting bigger. You know how many people stole PPP money, obtained it fraudulently? You know how many that is? That's a lot of purchased debt slaves for money that doesn't even exist. Money doesn't even exist for you, debt slaves, and they purchased you. They're coming to collect their property. They're going to walk in and say, John Smith, yeah, you're coming with us. Why? Because we own you, debt slave. And then they put the shackles on you. Just like what? Slaves. Mm, that is the real deal. Stamped. Remember how they used to mark, you watch the old movies where they used to mark their slaves? That's how they're going to mark you. Stamped. Felon. You're marked. Those of you guys that stole the money and haven't been caught yet, you might as well get ready to get stamped. You're about to get branded. You're about to be wearing those shackles that you see in movies. You're about to be wearing them. They're coming to collect their property, which is you. So if you're with somebody now and you ain't told them yet, and this relationship is serious, I suggest you do. Because you are now the personal property of the federal government. You're owned. They own you. You think you could just steal the money and jump off into the and skip off into the sunset? No. And you're probably thinking, the people that committed PPP fraud and then they even got their loans forgiven. You guys think you're out of the woods? No, you're not. You think you feel relief? Oh, whoo, mines must be legit because they got forgiven. That doesn't mean anything. Mm, I wouldn't even be able to sleep. You could just be driving down the street. Next thing you know, three, four cars with blacked out windows cut you off. So and so, yeah, hop on out. What's up? You're coming with us. Why? We own you. What about my kids and family and this and that? Well, you should have thought about that when you stole the money. What about them then? They already listen, okay? And this is just clearly my opinion. They put out that money in one of the worst times in history. Of course, you guys going to jump all over it because that's what debt slaves do. One of the most desperate times in history. Of course, you're going to jump all over it. Of course. Easy money. Should have said to yourself, is it easy to get this kind of money from the bank? No? Then why is it so easy here? Ding, ding, ding. The light should have went off in your head. Yeah, you're right. You guys take it. Imagine I'm just walking down the trail. What do you guys think you guys can do? And a lot of you guys probably even took that money and started your own business. All of it's confiscated now. Do you guys understand that? You probably are working. Listen, are you in your business right now? Started with stolen PPP money? Your business is about to end. They're confiscating all that. And guess what? People that are running legitimate businesses in your same area of business, they're going to get all your shit for pennies on the dollar because the federal government don't want your shit. They want you. You are worth more than any of that. Free labor. Mm. This is how debt slaves are purchased by the generation. This is generational, baby. This is generational. I'm thinking about it. I'm like, man, this picture keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm like, they don't get no more tax returns? No. Restitution for I don't even know what you're going to be making an hour as a convicted felon. You now have no choice but to start your own business. No choice. When you guys don't even get it. When you put it this way, say like you're okay, now you are not only are you a debt slave, but you're a debt slave who is a convicted felon. Now, what you guys can't see when you're inside the debt matrix, when you're in debt with no felonies, that's bad enough with a regular job. That's bad enough. But when you're a convicted felon, when you're a debt slave who is a convicted felon, I have no idea what you could possibly make having a job. I just don't know. And you got hundreds of thousands of dollars of restitution, you're pretty much going to die a debt slave. Bad. Yep. Get rid of the competition. Uh, all you guys started business with stolen PPP money, and imagine your business is successful too. It's gone. You might as well just close it down now. You might as well get rid of it. Well, I make enough money to pay it all back. Pay what back? Pay back the money you stole? It doesn't work like that, debt slave. You can't do that. I'll just get it and then I'll just pay it back. No, you won't. 99% of you guys are going to plea. Plea means admitting guilt, which means convicted felon. Welcome to the life of probation. Maybe, if you be lucky enough to get it. They can't put everybody in jail, okay? So the majority of you guys will be getting probation for sure. Imagine who's gonna be getting those contracts, those probation contracts. Ooh, there's gonna be a lot of them. Who knows how much probation is gonna be on top of? Oh my God, just I'm not gonna say all probation officers, but I guarantee you the majority of them cannot be nice people. Cannot be nice people. Cannot. Mm. Oh yeah, that's federal, QJC. That's a federal crime. That's a federal crime, QJC. That's the top dog crime too. With interest. Just keep getting worse and worse. Mm. Let me let me read some. Andre sent me something earlier. I want you guys to understand that you guys are all debt slaves. Just the PPP fraud people are the worst. Okay, you guys are going to clearly know that you are now owned because you're going to be treated a certain way now. Yes, they do. You know, And this is what you guys don't understand, debt slaves. I don't want you guys thinking that when you hear the feds have a high conviction rate or something, I don't want you guys thinking, oh, they must got the best top dog prosecutors and they must get the best from Harvard. And no, they understand everything is math. Okay. Now, if they have, I guarantee you, they have people like me working for them. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. People that understand that capitalism is psychological, positive, and negative, and nobody can break the laws of mathematics. I guarantee you they have people like me working working with them, not working for them, excuse me, working with them. Because you guys, once you're in with the stolen PPP money, it's not very difficult to know that you stole it. Okay, like here's an example, and I'm not even a tax person. Okay, I'm not even a tax person, but I'm sure if you have employees, there must be some kind of special filing, a 415, some kind of number that you do on a normally basis year after year. And here you are coming out the blue, never have ever did anything, and then you come and claim you got 100 employees and you've never filed nothing ever. That is not difficult to prove. Do you guys understand? And say like they come to you and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna get you. You did PPP fraud. I'm gonna get a lawyer." They're gonna be like, "What the fuck? You gonna what? You gonna waste even more of our time? Yeah, okay. You about to get it. You want to be? Hey, look, they're gonna be like this. You want to be free labor or you want to get on probation? Which one you want? Because it's your choice. They can choose. They're gonna be like, you get a lawyer, you're gonna be free labor for the next 15, 20 years. Or you can be on probation for the next 10 years. Which one you want? Your lawyer's not gonna be able to do anything about it. Okay, they're not. Especially, listen, if you stole PPP money, that means you have no money. So I already know what type of lawyer you're gonna have to fight the federal government. You're gonna plead. Debt slaves, they already know that. Let me show you guys something. Let's see. Is it share screen? Window. Chrome tab. Okay. All right, let me show you guys something here. And Andre brought this to my attention. Okay. And I'll put the link later. Okay. 1 second here. Now, I don't want you guys thinking that people in people that are following the law, debt slaves that are following the law, get away with anything. You see this Forbes article? I'm gonna read it to you. Okay. I'm gonna read it to you. The title of it is the borrow and die parent plus forgiveness strategy. That title says it's for debt slaves, for you. Desperate times call for desperate measures. At least that's what some parents might think it comes to helping their kids pay for a college degree. In fact, an unknown percentage of parents who are borrowing money to help cover their dependents' higher education expenses are already planning to die before they pay it back. Only debt slaves talk about dying in debt. I want to make sure you guys understand that it's clear. Only debt slaves talk about dying in debt for whoever, kids, friends, I don't care who it is. Or at least make it to retirement when their income is so low. Listen, make it to retirement where their income is so low, meaning have no money, so they won't have to make substantial payments to the loans. In fact, 23% of all student loan borrowers are 50 or older. Die debt slave. There's a whole timeline and strategy nearly anyone can follow to accomplish this task. Wait, where am I at? Okay. Essentially, it involves borrowing for college with Parent Plus loans, moving them into forbearance multiple times. Oh my God. Consolidating them and running out the clock to get to the age where Social Security benefits can apply. At that point, the goal is getting income low enough to qualify for a zero. I see why they're saying this. They're telling you debt slaves what to do that are getting close to retirement age. You're probably thinking, how am I going to survive with these student loans and this and that? They're telling you how to do it. That's why they're saying it. Okay. At that point, the goal is getting income so low to qualify for a zero monthly payment until death. You're reading this. A debt slave will read this and be like, you mean, wait a minute, there's a way I can have a zero payment? Yes, it is, debt slave. Sure is. The strategy is definitely a mixed bag. On one hand, you likely shouldn't pursue this strategy from the onset. And for some families, the timeline and income level simply won't work. But on the other hand, it can make families as a whole wealthier and something that financial planners may advocate. What? For older families, potentially not paying Parent Plus loans could be the strategy they take. For older families, potentially not paying Parent Plus loans. Could be a strategy they take. Regardless, it shouldn't be inadvertent. Oh my goodness, they are trying to convince you guys to do this plan. Holy, because listen, what they're saying makes no sense. You guys understand that? What they're saying makes no sense. None. Okay, well, okay. All right. If you think this sounds incredibly complicated and risky and even a bit sad, that's because it is. It sure is. However, for older parents, it can also be a viable strategy that can actually help increase family generational wealth. They are crazy for lying to you, debt slaves. Oh my goodness. There is nothing positive about anything doing that at all, building wealth of any kind. That is absolutely not true. Not true. What are Parent Plus loans exactly? Parent Plus loans are federal student loans that are geared to biological parents, adoptive parents. Oh, they're inviting everybody in on the trap. Step parents who have have a dependent undergraduate student who attends an institution of higher education. These loans are different from other types of federal loans because they own you in several ways, including the fact borrowers have to pass a credit check to be approved. Whatever. A credit check. Oh my God. Federal student loans for parents also let borrowers take out considerably more funding for school than most other student loans backed by the government. They could let you take out more? In fact, studentaid.gov says the limit for borrowing these loans is set at the cost of attendance at the school your child will attend minus any other financial assistance your child receives. In other words, sky's the limit. That is absolutely bananas. Absolutely bananas. What's up, Omanique, Gabriel? Interest rates are also considerably higher. Okay, dispersed. All right, interest rates. How long is this? I don't really feel like doing that. Oh my goodness gracious. They just go on and on. Let me read this. Let me read this generational wealth, and I'll put the link in the description. Actually, I'll just post it right here in the thing. Generational wealth. Let me read what they're saying. This strategy sounds counterintuitive to many debt repayment approaches, but following it can actually make families wealthier in aggregate. What the hell are you guys even talking about? In many parent plus loan situations, either the parent is repaying the loan or the parent asks the child to repay the loan. So if the parent didn't repay the loan, what makes you think their child is? Okay. Either way, because the parent obviously didn't teach their child how to repay loans. They just think it's good. Oh, okay, whatever. Either way, these monthly payments are coming out of the family's potential to build wealth. Okay, that's pretty clear. All right. For a parent, it could be future funds left for the child. For a parent, it could be future funds left for the child, or it could be needed wealth to live on during retirement. For a child, repaying the parent's loan could cost a lot of compounding and wealth building. Depending on the parent's income level, the strategy could effectively give a child oh my goodness, they are just making up crap. It is bananas. Wow. Anyway, debt slaves are just not it's not isolated to just convicted felons. You guys are all debt slaves, but you guys are at different levels. The ones on PPP fraud though, man, uh especially the younger you are and you hear this video, you are definitely part of the generation of purchased debt slaves. Whatever the total amount that was stolen, that's how much it cost them. Now they did this, listen, they did this in 1 year. Okay? 1 year they purchased all those debt slaves. Now they own you for the rest of your life. If you ever want to be free, it's going to take you creating your own business, a successful business, or your kids are going to have to help you get out. Or you're just going to live your life and just be owned forever. You will listen, you will be forever stamped. But if you create a successful business, there's the way to be free. You just have to pay everything back. You guys in your 20s, man, that committed PPP fraud, you don't really know what you did. You don't know. This this doesn't this doesn't obviously end your life, but it does change the trajectory of your life. It's going to change your relationships now, because when you're out there dating, there's a lot of people that do not date convicted felons. period. People that like, I don't date people in debt. There's an absolute, that would be an absolute waste of time. And I'm not saying that people that are convicted felons are bad people. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just stating a fact to you. Your job opportunities are now limited forever. No matter how smart you get, no matter how much education you get, it won't matter now. It won't matter what type of a degree you get, or maybe the type of degree you have. Now your degree is worthless. Those of you that have good jobs right now with college degrees, that's all worthless now. Your college degree and that good job you have, you'll never get another one like that anymore because you just sold yourself. Your life is forever changed, whether you know it or not. (2020), and this, and when I tell you about 2020 right now, I'm just telling you from my perspective. That's the only perspective I can have. I don't know if that's a big perspective, small. I don't know. But when I take a step back and see how many of you guys were purchased, that's serious business. All those private, I used to always think to myself, why are they building so many private prisons? I used to like, why are they doing that? Because they're about to fill them up. Imagine like this, say like this, say like you are a business, okay? You're a business in this particular town where there's a private prison, okay? Now, in your business, you spend X amount of dollars on a particular type of material or product that you need to make for your business to do whatever you need to do to sell. And say like this cost, we're gonna keep nice round numbers. Say like this cost for you per material is $100. But then the private prison can make the exact same things for 50% of the cost. Who are you going with? The private prison. A regular business could not compete with a private prison. They could not. This is business. It's nothing personal. And guess who's going to be making the stuff for them? You guys, the people that stole PPP money. You guys are going to be doing it for a dime an hour. They could sell the same product that the person paid, the private business paid $100. The prison could sell it for $10 and make a considerable profit. They have no overhead, employees that will always be there, whether they're sick or not, don't have to pay any benefits or nothing. They don't have to do nothing. And get money for having them. Now, when you're in the debt matrix, you cannot see the bigger picture. You can't see it because you're in it. Let me explain this to you. And this could be even for SMD family members. Let me tell you something. When you break the 40-hour work week program, I'm telling all SMD family members, you guys need to understand this. Once you break the 40-hour work week program and then you look at hourly wages, salaries, you're going to be pissed. You're going to be like, that's nothing. That's nothing. And then when you look at, and listen, that's being debt free. Now imagine the debt slaves in debt, convicted for, oh man. I was like, why are they, now I understand. I get it. I get it. As soon as you get convicted, all your rights are stripped. You can now be a legal, listen, a legal physical slave. Yeah, physical slavery is illegal, yes, until you give it away, until you fucked up, until you fuck up. That's it. Now you're a legal slave, chains and all. Abused, talked down to, you ain't nothing. They look at you different, talk about you different. All for the money you stole. Whatever the amount. Even listen, even if you got $100,000, when you think about what I'm telling you, that doesn't seem like a lot of money, does it? Nope, because it's not. It wasn't. You didn't even see it. You know how many, and listen, you know how many people are going to be disappearing from social media? You guys don't even understand. Hey, what happened to so and so? He or she just stopped posting. I know they're convicted. They're in jail. When you're on the positive side of the economy, which I am and SMD families are, when we view social media, we can see who's a liar and who's faking, who's pretending because of the way they speak about money. I just had opened up TikTok the other day. Hey, we got a CPN deal. You can get a whole lot of CPNs for a certain price and blah, blah, blah. If you're looking at a CPN, you're a debt slave because debt slaves do stuff like that. That's debt slave stuff. If you're looking for a CPN, that's because you're running from you cannot, if you're looking for a CPN, that's because you can no longer use your SSN. What's up, Alonzo? That's why you're looking for a CPN because you messed up your SSN. But it's no different. I guarantee you, if you went to Canada, there would be a same similar thing, but named different. And the same thing in Australia, same thing in UK. Why? Because they're all capitalism. In every form of capitalism, the main sources are debt slaves, period. Yeah, you're seeing PPP fraud here, but if I guarantee if you jump over to the UK and don't be surprised, they probably had a similar program like our PPP forgiveness. That's called the UK for survival something. And guess what? A whole bunch of it's going to be stolen. Why? Because they're purchasing the new generation of debt slaves. They all do the same thing. Next check Canada. I'm sure they had something too. It's the same thing. All these influencers that you guys are seeing on social media, They're going to be logging off one by one, just vanishing out of no. Hey, you know what? I'm tired of doing the social media. I'm burned out. I bet you are, because you're going to be gone for 7 years. Imagine how many debt slaves think they've gotten away because their loans were forgiven. If you committed fraud in the beginning, it doesn't matter if they forgave them. They're coming for you. Damn, imagine this. Imagine getting convicted, sent to prison, free labor, and then when you get out, you're a convicted felon on probation and still a slave. Every single check that you get is taken. Mm, mm. That shit is that is amazing, man. That is absolutely. I was like, wait a minute, this is how they do it. This is how they do it. And when I think about myself back in the late 80s, 90s, there was traps back there for me too. Sure were. Here I am, young and fucking clueless. Here I am. When when you're in your late teens, 20s and shit like that, you think old people are dumb. They're not hip anymore. They don't know what's up. No, you are brand new to earth. Do you understand that? You just got here. And it counts on how you were raised when you really were born to this point to where you're a 18-year-old adult. It all counts on where you were raised at, or how, who told you what. Nobody was there for me to say, hey, by the way, if you do XYZ, you're going to lose your freedom and you're going to be owned by the government for the rest of your life. Don't do that. Because you don't know. Listen, when you're young, you don't know what it's like to be owned. To be a real live legal slave. Legal. Freaking bananas, man. How they round up. They're coming to collect. They're coming to collect you. Mm. I imagine just a young pretty lady got caught up, friend convinced her of a PPP loan. This can help you out, girl. I know times are rough, which were rough for everybody. Excuse me, not everybody, the majority of people. And then they convince some young now she's a convicted felon. Mm. And when people, and so crazy, when people date, I mean, who I am today, that would never happen. But think about it. When you're young and you date, you're not checking to see if somebody's in debt or they're a felon or they're on probation or they've been doing some stuff in there. You don't know all that. You're not running checks on everybody you're dating. But trust me, put it this way, when you come here where I'm at on the positive side of everything, that's most definitely all of it is part of it. Like who I am today, I don't care what a woman looks like. If she's in debt, it doesn't matter what she looks like. If she passes that, now She can't have a record, or you can't be on probation, or and psychologically what's going on. There's so many different factors now. It just, but I can, where I'm at today, I can just listen to a woman speak and hear how she talks about her life, and how she grew up, because these are still normal questions that you in dating, but you just listen to how they respond with the answers, and I will automatically know if I'm gonna see that person or not. Not dating a woman in debt eliminates like 95% of women, because women and men are in debt. It doesn't matter if it's a man or woman. Let me make sure I'm not here to say, hey, women are in more debt than men. No, debt slaves. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. I'm just saying, if you're making car payments, we're not dating. For what? If you stole PPP money, we're not dating. Why would we date? There's no purpose in dating. You're going to be going away soon. It won't matter if 8 years pass by. You're still owned. Do you understand? Well, yeah, of course, they're not going to be able to catch millions of people. Okay. They're not catching everybody. But look how you got to live your life for the next 10 years. And listen, in Dark Knight, what if you get her pregnant? What you going to do then? Guess what happens to you? You're tied to the debt matrix for the next 20 years of your life. You willing to take that chance? I wouldn't be. I couldn't do it. These are things you got to think about. You trust in the rest of your life? Leave her. That doesn't even make sense. What are you talking about? Leave her. What, I know, even but there's people that really think like that, right? What do you mean leave her? At that point, it has nothing to do with her. That's between you and the state. You ain't you ain't going nowhere. I mean, you can, but your checks are gonna be coming back to the state. I couldn't do it. I'd probably, what's so crazy? I probably wouldn't even, hey, listen, Dark Knight, I wouldn't be able to enjoy myself because I'd be so worried about, what if this is a faulty condom? They tell you right on the condom package, we don't guarantee nothing. So there won't be no suing of anybody. Sure is. Hey, listen, now that I'm out and I'm no longer a debt slave, I understand the purpose of the system now. I do. It's mainly for people that just go out there and just having kids, not really thinking about the consequences. I get it. Totally get it. Because that's on my mind now all the time. It probably ruin the excitement for me. If I listen, I get with somebody and everything's getting worked up, but I know this chick is a debt slave. I'd be too worried. She'd be like, "Oh, what's wrong, Lynette?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm getting old. That's why you you're getting older. That's why it's not." I'd be like, "Yeah, that's why it's not working. I got ED." That's what I would say. I would purposely say I have ED. I wouldn't be able to tell her, "Hey, it's not working because you're making car payments." I couldn't tell her that. I just like, "I got ED." And then she can go and tell her friends, "Oh yeah, LJ couldn't get it up." Yeah, that's it. That's right. That's right. I'm old. That's why it doesn't work. Yeah. You taking your medicine? No, no, I don't want to do that. I have high blood pressure and it might hurt me. I'm good. I'm good. You'll be okay not doing it no more. Yeah, I'm cool with that. I'm old. After 50, you don't really have that you don't have that desire anymore anyway. So, wow, you can do that? Yeah. Sure can. He was openly saying that he had ED, girl. Yeah, he's tripping. Yeah, I'm tripping. I am. I'm tripping. I don't know. I'm old. That's funny. It ain't even worth the risk. Ain't even worth the risk. That's what I would do. So I don't hurt the feelings of the other woman, Dominica. I don't want to make, oh, it's just you, girl, it's you, because you ain't making you got car payments. I'll be like, yeah, I got ED. Sure do. Yeah, that whatever that thing is they show on TV for men that have a problem doing. That's me. That's me. Yep, that's me. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the show today. It's about an hour and a half. That's long enough for me. I just had to say that just to, like I said in the background, Andre and I, we go back and forth with some stuff we talk about, and I shot him that I knew the true purpose of PPP fraud, and that's the purchase of a generation of debt slaves. And it looks like it worked perfect. So they took a yeah, that's too far. But they took an opportunity to purchase debt slaves for the generation. They will be picking you guys up for the next 10 years. Wow. Mm. Don't get debt slaves pregnant. Hey, listen. Hey, Dark, if that ever happened, I'm shutting down this SMD channel. You guys are going to never hear from me again. I'm just shut it down. They'd be like, what happened to his channel? It's no longer there. I'm not explaining nothing. I'm just leaving. I'm not saying anything. Let you guys find out in the news one day or something. But regardless, Dark Knight, I already went to the doctor to take care of that. So I know that's never happening again. So that's clearly done. But listen, even that, I couldn't even take the chance. Even though it has never failed me since getting it done, I still would be too scared. I would just oh man, that would be horrible. That would be absolutely okay, put it this way, SMD fam. Imagine you didn't listen and you got a debt slave pregnant. Okay. Now you a full-blown SMD family member that has been on the positive side free for the last 10 years. And then you said you let the sexual drive overtake you and you get a debt slave pregnant. Imagine being in court, listening to the judge dictate your finances for the next 20 years. And according to whatever state you're in, maybe you're getting revisited every 2 years to make sure the child support modifications. That would be like drip torture. That would be absolutely horrible. Knowing you can't do nothing about it and you got to pay this lawyer. You can't really talk in court. The lawyers and the judges, they talk, but you shut up, but you pay. You just shut up and pay. And that's if you have money. Do you understand me? That's if you put it, okay, listen. Say like you go to court, right? And you ain't got no money for a lawyer and you get like a public defender. Okay. You got to take a step back and say, well, who pays the public defender? The government. The people you're fighting against. Hey, listen, your lawyer works for the people with unlimited funds. And you got him or her because you have no funds. Who do you think, listen, who do you think is going to win? Like let's go back to the PPP fraud. Okay. Let's use that as a prime example. If you're still in PPP loan money, that means you have no money. So when you get caught and you decide you need to be defended, guess what you're getting? A public defender who works for the government. They have unlimited funds. You have no funds, and you got a lawyer provide. You have a lawyer provided by them. Oh man, it just keeps getting better. It just keeps on getting. You see how? Listen, that's how they do debt slaves. You get a court-appointed lawyer provided by who? The government, the people you're fighting against. Them. You think? Listen, you think your public defender is going to win against the federal government with top-notch lawyers with and unlimited funds? No. The answer is no. Don't waste it. Listen, don't waste it. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys some advice before I leave. Just get out of here right now. Okay, and I still say go get a lawyer. Don't get me wrong. Get a lawyer just to make sure whatever deal you guys come up with, because you're gonna get it. You're gonna get something. Okay, but a lawyer will make sure there's no your own private lawyer, make sure there's no open-ended holes somewhere to left open or something, whatever, right? You just don't want to do that. You want to go ahead, take your lick, make sure everything's buttoned up by the time you finish and done, and you can pay your money off and whatever. Okay. But good luck. I missed the part about the stock market I asked before. What do you mean? Oh, let me see. Let me go back up. Let me see what you asked. Okay, let me go back up here. I did see you ask. Okay. You said, can you explain how the stock market will look for someone who's personally debt free with the essential knowledge? Can you explain how the stock market will look for someone who's personally debt free? Okay, so say like I wanted to invest in the stock market. Okay, I want you guys to take a step all the way back so you guys can understand my perspective of how I'm coming at this. I know capitalism is psychological, positive, and negative. Okay. I understand that debt slaves do not have any money to invest in anything. So that means the stock market is debt slaves. The stock market is debt slaves. All right. And the people that understand that also understand that the stock market would not be able to exist without debt slaves. The stock market, listen, like they offer margin, okay, which is essentially credit. If they stopped offering margin, the stock market would cease to exist because it cannot exist without debt slaves. So what I would do if I would decide that I want to go into the stock market, I would find a really good person who is good at the stock market, but I have to make sure they are personally debt free because that person is going to know something 99% of the other people that invest in the stock market do not know because they're in debt. I don't personally need to know anything about the stock market. I just find the person that does. You said that I would understand the stock market once I'm personally debt free. I'll see if I'll see if what it is. Can you play briefly explain? Well, yeah, just like I explained there, right? But when I talk about the stock market, I'm saying it counts on, do you want to dive in to understand all the inner workings? I personally do not. The only time I would go, I would find a person who is passionate about the stock market, because believe it or not, there's always a few passionate people that, like I am with SMD, this is my passion. 6 cents, that's my passion. So I will find a person with the same passion, but they must be personally debt free, period. Period. All right, let me get back down there. I hope that answered the question there, Coding B. Martin. Here, I didn't put, okay, let me just do it real quick. I'll put the link here if anybody have any questions, because I sure didn't do that. All right, here's a link. If you have any questions, good. I'm glad it did, because I really am, because I'm trying to physically explain to you what is psychological only. So it really all counts on how deep you plan on getting into it. It's easy to find the person that's really good. It's put it this way, with this knowledge, coding Martin, you don't have to know anything about the stock market. You just need to find the person that's really good at doing that. And you say, are you in personal debt? If the answer is yes, that's not the person you want. Because the person in debt, and this is so crazy, I'm not even saying that a person who is in debt that's into the stock market, I'm not saying that they're really not, I'm not even saying that they're not good. I'm saying that they're missing a piece. And you want the person that's really good and understands that capitalism is psychological, positive and negative. That the stock market are debt slaves. Period. That's where businesses go to get money for their businesses, from debt slaves. They'll look at Tesla and be like, "Ooh, their cars are doing really good. Let me invest in Tesla because he's the whatever." Like when you see, so let's get the bigger picture so you guys can understand. When they do like pre-orders and people will put down money 3 years before before actually getting the product, do you know how much interest is made on that free money? That's a lot of money. That is literally free money. They get to sit on that money for years, earning interest for free, absolutely free. Now, don't get me wrong, Tesla had to build a good product for people to do some shit like that, but that's free money. And you got to remember this too, that people, debt slaves have no money. So, but the 99% of the money that you see put down on Tesla vehicles for 3 years, that is borrowed money. They pull out the credit cards. They're paying interest on that money. They're paying interest. Tesla's earning interest. The only person that's not earning nothing is the debt slave. Also, you told me once I become personally debt free, I can get a home through tax deeds or foreclosures. Correct. Yeah, anybody can do that. You just got to have the money. I see. So in its Tesla example, debt slaves finance. Yeah, debt slaves finance Teslas. Like, here's the bigger picture, you guys, so you guys can understand. So when Tesla makes cars, Tesla doesn't get to charge whatever they want for their car. Okay. Those prices are set by the bank. Why is that? Because debt slaves have no money to buy Teslas in cash. Do you understand? So if Tesla came out and said, you know what, we want all of our cars to cost $200,000. Well, they wouldn't be selling any cars because the banks would say no. Without the banks, Teslas don't sell. That's any car. We're just using Tesla as an example. So I don't want you, that's any car manufacturer. The prices of their cars are set by the banks, period. Then Warren Buffett or any investor like him invest in Tesla stock and benefit. Of course, they know exactly what to do. Put it this way, if Warren Buffett ever heard me speak, we would be in contact. I want people to really understand that. If Warren Buffett ever heard me speak, him and I would be in contact. I promise you that. Because I'd say it to him, hey, Warren, yep, I know how it works. I know what the stock market really is. When I look at Warren Buffett now, I just say, oh, that's a man that's known for a very long time, what I'm telling you guys about. You guys think he's some special genius and all this other stuff. He's a smart man, yeah, but it's clear what he's doing. He clearly understands what I'm explaining to you guys right now. That's it. And he just capitalized on it, like I'm trying to do right now. That's the only thing. The only difference between Warren Buffett and I, he's been here on Earth before me, so he's got started before me, and it was probably passed down in his family. This information. That means he's generations ahead. He's not just money ahead. He's generations ahead. How debt slaves are purchased. This has been, I guarantee, if you go back through history, go look for all the like government programs of money or free money or to do something to help during a bad time. It was probably a lot of theft from the government program and blah kitty blah. You probably know some people right now that are probably convicted felons. They're probably old. They're not going to tell you. Like when think about all the people that will be convicted felons from this PPP fraud. You think they're going to tell everybody in the future that they're convicted felons because of PPP fraud? They're not. Well, good luck to you all you guys that did it. Good luck in the future. Uh, I strongly suggest you go hire your own lawyer. Go to the government. Hey, yep, it was me. I stole it. All of it was a lie. Nope, I didn't have any of the money. Just save a lot of people a lot of time. Go with the lawyer. Get it done now. That's a win for you. That frees up resources for them. Just do it. Get it out the way, or you can just take your chances. You might be one of the people that they never catch. You might be, but look how the next 10 think about how the next 10 years of your life is going to be. Scared of the mailbox. You're going to be panicking every time somebody knocks on your door. Do you really want to live your life like that? I wouldn't. All right. You guys have a good one. You guys have a wonderful evening. Later.